to all my friends out there. Hi, you guys. Well, I hope everyone is doing okay. Okay, when I was in 7th grade, white lipstick was in style. I always liked it, and I used to get, it lasted for quite a while. I think I was still wearing it when I got out of high school. So the first time I remember it, I was in 7th grade, and I used to fry myself to get the darkest tan. I thought it was such a great look. So I thought, I can't wait for it to make a comeback because I will die. So tonight I'm making a low carb meal. And so I want to stay on this low carb one meal, and then the other meal, eat whatever I want, but moderately. So hi to all the followers, foreign and domestic. So I love the fact that I have some foreign followers. So hello. I know I had a few from India, Great Britain. I have hardly anybody from South America. Okay, so this is some boiling water, and I just learned how to make these poached eggs off of a keto channel. So see how my water is boiling? So I want to turn it down a little bit. It depends how done you like your eggs. And so I'm just going to crack the eggs. I like these so much better than fried eggs. And it's so much easier than boiled eggs. Okay, so 2 eggs. And this is so much better than 3 egg whites for me. I'm not saying never again on the egg whites. So I want to boil these on low for 5 minutes. This morning, before I went to the gym, I'm trying to get into the habit of eating before the gym. So today I stopped by Smart and Final because I like their toilet paper the best. And I was so overjoyed because I found these thin cut beef ribs. I have been looking for these things for ever since I saw let me turn this up, the poached egg. I got this off a keto channel. So these weren't the cheapest, but I thought I bought 3 because from now on the only thing I want in my freezer is meat. So with these thin cut packages, I can pack a lot of meat in my freezer, like single portion hamburgers, and this is better than steak. I want a keto meal that's tasty, so I want to eat it. And these were $8.99, not 0.98, so about 1 pound. Yesterday I ate tons of meat, and I considered not eating any meat at all, but I thought, no, stay on this keto thing for a while. Okay, this video is prepare for 2 extremes, fire and rain. So these are both, why worry about it all the time? Not worry about it, but be prepared, at least a little bit. So what we learned from the Hawaii family, well, fire is, we actually knew someone that was stuck over there. They were in the city. They were safer, but they couldn't get off the island they were on until like a day or 2. And then, you know, there was the people evacuating. If they had a gas mask, they could have survived. One thing you want to know, where to go and where not to go. Today we had a brush fire in Boulevard near the 8, 20 acres. So with a big fire, you wouldn't want to go towards Takati because they always break out there, and you wouldn't want to go to the 8. They always say with fire, go west, but you have to know where you're going. So chances are you could go west and you could travel north, or you could fly out of here. A lot of people did that. So that takes some cash. So another thing is gas and cash. So I baked these little steaks, beef steaks with bones, and I will save if there's any grease, I want to save this. I have a pan in the freezer, and so the dogs will love the bones, so that's good. And then I baked a sweet potato. So it's gonna be the meat. It's okay if some is left over. The sweet potato and the egg. That's gonna be the basic low carb diet. I have found that for me, big salads are not my best option. I just don't like it. So if you don't like it, one more minute, and then you turn 5 minutes on a low boil, and then turn the heat off for 1 minute. Okay, now for a little salad. So what I'm doing is I'm going a little bit light on buying a salad, because I can get salad at the food pantry, really good salad stuff, and they always have enough. So that goes to the fact that I want to do everything I can to save money. So okay, so back to okay, so we had the fire in Boulevard, and our worst month out here is September. So this is kind of early. We're at July 1st. Also, I've been watching these prophecy channels, and they were saying, oh, this is awesome. Some heavy rains are coming from the Lord. Yeah, that might be true. The Bible says it rains on the just. Okay, now I'm going to turn off the heat. The just and the unjust. So, you know, I wouldn't be too confident that it's only for the good people. So I had a dream. It was funny. I dreamed there was like a heavy downpour. I mean, very heavy. And I dreamed of a woman who seems like she had been left. And this rain was coming down on the house. Then I had another dream about a night, but next night or so, she looked very bad. Like really, really bad. Not good. Like starving, like very bad circumstances, like a lot of wrinkles, horrible. So I don't see what's so good about a very heavy rain. I'm thinking some of these prophecy channels think President Trump is going to make America great again. Maybe that remains to be seen. Okay, we have wars going on. Wars cost money. Another thing I'm doing is I am totally getting rid of all charging and paying my okay, has this been a minute? Yeah. Okay, so now what I did is I just poured the eggs into a screen. And so with these beefs, you don't need any grease, nothing. And no grease or anything like that with the potato. So I want to have, and I bought this this salad marked down 3 days ago, see? And so if you watch what you're doing on the marked down salad, so I'm just going to have, this could be at lunch too. So I don't know if the salad is going to last. So it came with corn, it came with little carrots, some black beans. So I'm just going to eat everything that's left, except for the lettuce. If it lasts, I can put it on a sandwich. And then, you know, I'll just put one tomato, and then it came with salad dressing. So this is a pretty low cost meal. And then I had some butter balls. I got these butter balls for $2, so I thought I will take those. All right, so let me put my poached eggs here. There's probably more experienced poached egg makers, but this is so much easier than anything I came up with. Okay, so we have some good protein. I've been on a low protein diet, a high protein diet all of my life. So I just baked my sweet potato. So I want to buy about 10 pounds. Oh, and it comes with some, it came with some like tortilla chips. I think I'm going to save those. So I will put a butter ball in there. Just one is good. Those are a half tablespoon. So by preparing in advance, you're going to have, I'm going to just close this for a minute to melt the butter. Let me taste one of these. Okay, I like coarse sea salt on this kind of meat, and black pepper. So I'm like a carnivore. This is a set, I was like a carnivore yesterday. When I go on the low carb diets, if I make a little too much, that's fine because it's really good. I'll put some on my eggs too. Leftover. I gotta get a salt and pepper shaker. This has been going on for 12 years. It's obviously not high on my list of priorities, but it should be. Okay, so I have some lime and some chipotle. You could have sour cream and chives if you have it in your refrigerator, but this is really good. Salsa chipotle. One of the followers told me about it. So, okay, that didn't take long. So I will put the salsa on there. It could be any topping. It could be nothing. If your sweet potatoes are good. And that was some kind of Mexican hot sauce on the salad, so that should be good. And I will pour a liberal amount of salsa. So once you start getting everything, so basically what you've got is meat. It could be hamburgers, it could be any kind of meat, pork sausage, eggs, that's good. Now this wasn't the cheapest meat, but it could be. So here's what we have. So, okay, and then this is really good tea. I bought this at Walmart. It's herbal tea. And I bought this one too, but I like this peach Robios herbal tea and pomegranate blueberry. This one's good, but for me, I think this one tastes better, and it's herbal, so no caffeine. All right, let me taste these tasty ribs. If you are thrifty all the time, and every once in a while you want to eat some beef ribs, you know, it's not the end of the world. So here's the eggs. So meat, eggs, potatoes, and a little vegetable. It can be canned vegetables. So, okay, so back to this thing about everything is going to be great this year. Okay, we have 2 wars, someone has to pay for them like us. Okay, if you don't make a lot of money to pay taxes, that's okay. You're going to pay inflation. It's called the sneaky tax. The rich people pay, the poor people pay. It rains on the just and the unjust. We want to prepare basically for evacuation. Both are destructive and both guarantee you will destroy crops, which is bad. Imagine, like say, the town I live in, they bomb us. My house is caught on fire. I don't have anything in my house because it was bombed. That's okay. This other country's gonna help you. Okay, well, maybe. Okay. When it's very bad, you cannot survive. You have to evacuate. So you need gas or some kind of transportation and cash. Okay, like back to rain. Oh God, okay, God cleansed the earth with rain. So rain isn't always good. Figure this, rain or snow. The snow melts and floods. So places, you want to know which way the water is going to run. It's generally like, I live almost to the Gulf of Mexico. So from the north, the rain could come and really cause problems, or just heavy rain. Low-lying areas. Thank God I don't live in one now. Flood plains or riverbeds. Yes, I used to live by a riverbed, which is built along the highway. So there's a riverbed, you're here, the highway's there. Coastal areas. Yeah, it's like I live on a coastal area. Okay, also a lot of snow, like Utah, it regularly floods. Large cities with large amounts of pavement. When the rain comes heavy, the pavement is not going to absorb the rain. I mean, not staying up nights, but know if you're in a risk. So you have to be able to prepare people and pets. Okay, we saw hurricanes in Florida, and the people wouldn't leave their pets, and the pets were not led on the evacuation buses. That goes back to evacuating sooner or later. Maybe they didn't have money. Who knows? Okay, so now think about this story, the farmer and the ranch hand. A farmer went to a fair and he thought, oh, maybe I can find a ranch hand. So he went to the fair and he saw a man sitting on the fence chewing a piece of hay. And he said, hi, are you looking for a job as a ranch hand? One side of our family was ranchers, one side was farmers. And the man said, yes. And the farmer said, why should I hire you? And he said, because I can sleep when it rains. Okay, the farmer went on examining the possibilities, and he came back and he said, I am gonna hire you. And the ranch hand said, you'll be glad you did. So the farmer got him back to the ranch. The ranch hands were like family, actually. Anyway, so he was so glad he hired him because he was a great ranch hand. One night, the farmer saw dark clouds in the distance, and he said, oh no, and he ran, and he woke the ranch hand up, and he said, listen, prepare the livestock, cover the hay, a very bad storm is coming. The ranch hand rolled over and said, I already did. So the point of that is, you want to prepare, you want to be in, I used to tell my son these stories. He used to go, no, Mom, no, but you want to prepare long before there's looming clouds. My mother's mother, who lived on the ranch froze. Yes, to death. She got out in a blizzard. They told her not to go. She went and she froze to death. That was a bad story. Now on the farmers, the Mormons were farmers, and we have nightmare stories too. Like one time the locusts flew in, and so it was so many locusts. People forget about locusts. You think, oh, call pest control. So the people prayed to God, and seagulls flew in from the Salton Sea. Now, where my family lived was not that close to the Salton Sea, but they ate all the locusts and the crops were saved. So that's another thing. And another thing on the farmer side is never eat your seed. Otherwise, when you get paid from selling your crop, do not buy anything except seed with the seed money. So don't forget that one. So you want to be able to evacuate a flood, a bad flood, and a fire. Okay, so now what is so bad about a flood? Well, too much rain wrecks two bad things, rice and wheat. Okay, we've seen very bad rainstorms in Moscow, and also in 4 of them in China. Very bad. We have a grand solar minimum on the way. I think this is year 3 or 4. People are not talking about it. They're calling it climate change. Like the COVID, they're calling it the Great Lockdown. So, okay, so, all right. Be thinking about, now it turns out that rice and wheat or flour is the easiest thing to store, really. Let me give you the bread recipe. So you always have this bread recipe. Just write it down even if you never intend to make bread. Also the fry breads. I still have my fry breads from yesterday. These breads are so cheap. This is the fried bread, and it's so good with tea, and they're so good the next day. I'm gonna eat this. It's not low carb, but I just remembered I had it. Here it is. I made it yesterday. For the bread, 3 1/2 cups flour, I make half a loaf. 2 teaspoons yeast, 1/2 cup hot water, and 1/2 teaspoon salt. So I mix the flour and the salt. And then the only thing I do different is I heat 1/2 cup hot water, not hot, but warm, like a warm bath, about 100 degrees. Like if you stick your finger in, it's like a warm bath. I add 1 teaspoon of honey or sugar, molasses, anything, and I raise my yeast. Okay, that's not very much water. And I got this this recipe. It's very old, and the guy on the wheat grinder, I was gonna sell it, and I thought, are you crazy? So what I do is when the yeast is activated, then I make a well in my flour. I add the yeast, but I also have some warm milk or water. Also from the food pantry, I still have milk that I will drink, or I could make yogurt, but the 1% milk doesn't make the best yogurt, but that is okay. So then if I need more warm milk, I like a soft dough. So I get my dough and I knead it 1 time in some flour to make a nice soft dough. I put it in a greased pan and I rise it 1 time and cook it 350. So here is the old fat. This is the best one I've ever found. the Adventists, you know, don't use much milk products, so they just use water. You will like these poached eggs like this, and it's faster and it's not messy. I have about, I usually store about 40 or 50 pounds of flour and about 20 pounds of rice. Okay, in San Diego, they're starting this thing, safe parking. We have 3 of them, and there's not too many spaces. There's only like 20 spaces. As long as you have nowhere else to go, you can live in your cars. I think it'd be safer to park in a residential area, as long as you're not like a really messy car where people are not worried you're going to break into the house and rip off their stuff. So now back to fires. Okay, fires happen when there's wars, damages to the power lines, which means you might not, our cable is underground here. Smolder underground for months, soil erosion, so the rains and it runs off in floods, death of animals, and that's some of the bad things with fires. That is why it's the 1st of July. So hopefully we've been stockpiling. So the rest of the year, if we can just like stop spending. Okay, I want to talk to you about a tax. So what I'm doing is I am going to assume that a war is coming and say, what would I do? And then if it doesn't come, that's fine. I'm prepared. In the Bible, it says, run to the hills. I live in the hills anyway, but that is a good strategy. One of my customers was a Kurd, and he survived the chemicals by Saddam Hussein. And I said, how did you survive? He goes, we saw the helicopters and we ran to the hills. So if you see an attack or you see an army, it's best to evacuate. So now when you have a war, this is what you got to realize. If you're bombed, no shelter, and famine is the major concern, no food. Okay, so now just a real quick thing that they've predicted food shortages for 2024: eggs, wheat and flour, rice, chicken, beef, and cooking oil. And then in my freezer, I'm stockpiling meat. Okay, so now if you do want to hoard some cash, I don't suggest keeping cash in the house. It's better in a safety deposit box. Okay, if you want to go to my my Instagram, it's rstone, you know, all one word, RSTONE. This is one word too, 619-2008. So today I posted pictures of myself after 6 months at the gym. Month 1, and they go, I was like the gym member of the month. So I took a picture. And I looked ridiculous. And then after 6 months, a while back, about a couple weeks, I took a picture of myself and I posted that. So if you would like to see that, go to Rhoda Stone Instagram. rstone 619-2008. The family art is on there. The home decor on a budget is on there. The flower arrangements are on there, and some AI music that the family did is on there. And then if you would like to go to Rhoda Stone X, there's music, food, art, and one of the comments that the followers left, and flowers. Okay, so now we're back to July 1st. So hopefully we've been stockpiling food since the beginning of the year. So now the second half of the year, we're going to eat it for the next 6 months. Okay, and to save money, go to the pantry if you need food and reduce the expenses and start growing a year-round garden. Okay, I've had a terrible time, but I'm not giving up. The year-round garden is a way of life. And then find low-cost meals. So it'd be 4 ounces of meat. This is a pound of meat, but 4 ounces meat, This is low cost meals: potatoes, sweet potatoes, and maybe a vegetable. So if you get yourself a 10-pound bag of potatoes, or usually they give you potatoes at the food pantry. I promised myself that I was going to go to the food pantry when I got old. And I thought, how old do you have to be? You're 70 years old. You're old. Okay, so potatoes, sweet potatoes, and rice. Number 2 is 4 ounces of meat, eggs, and vegetable. Friday is going to be a fish meal because I thought, isn't it so coincidental that we have to eat some fish to stay healthy? And the Catholic Church had the people eating fish every Friday, or take complete amino acids. I'm probably just going to make some fish sticks or like tuna casserole. Low cost meats include bologna, lunch meat, and hot dogs. I'll be making those. Number 4, sandwich with a small fruit or vegetable. That's a good one. That's why I saved my lettuce and tomato for tomorrow, because I bought lunch meat marked down, so I'll just be eating cheese and meat sandwiches until it's gone. Okay, breakfast. 5 is breakfast: pancakes and eggs, oatmeal, potatoes and eggs, grits and eggs. I like potatoes, grits, and eggs. Fried bread and eggs. I have a bunch of muffin mixes, like a continental breakfast. I'll be making some good donuts. 6 rice bowls. It'll be beans, meat, and vegetables. And then more vegetables like squash, salads, and pasta. I want to mention a couple of things. Last month I stocked up on this dry fruit, but they have really good dry fruit at Dollar Tree. And then I can get really nice. This was an $62.50 vase. I probably paid $3 or $4. So if you like the idea of doing a cheap hobby. And then one of the long-lasting foods is a coconut. And I want to learn how to make coconut oil. I want to dehydrate my coconuts. And I want to make homemade coconut milk and harvest the coconut water out of here as soon as I figure out how to do that. Okay, you guys, I will see you tomorrow. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And God bless you all.